This is Professor John Wagoner, and this is my Canvas course orientation for Painting 1, Art 203. I'm going to guide you through the process of navigating through the course in Canvas. When you log into Canvas and you click on the course, you'll land upon the home page, which is what you see here. On the left-hand sidebar, you're going to see the link to the home page, the announcements, syllabus, modules, discussions, and grades. In the middle content block, you'll see the course description, some brief contact information for your instructor, and then a link down below just to get started in the modules. On the far right-hand side, you'll see a to-do list. Those are generally assignments that will be due coming up within the list of assignments in Canvas. There's also the course calendar, which you can view in a calendar there, or course notifications. So with that being said, in the announcements page, if I click on this, no announcements are going to show up since we're in student view. But each week I'll send out weekly reminders telling you what assignments need to be done, if there's assignment coming up, or any other pertinent information. So the main thing about announcements is that the default in Canvas is that it's set to off. And what you need to do is go in the top left-hand corner and click on Account, and you'll see Notifications, and then you need to turn on the announcements for your specific course. So I urge you to do that immediately after watching this video, so you'll make sure that you will get those weekly reminders sent to your email and through the Canvas system. Down below in the next link in the sidebar is the syllabus page. On this page in the middle content block, you can see the master syllabus, which is the master BIPSI syllabus. But what you want to concern yourself with in this course is for the course syllabus. That's for your course and section number this semester. Down below, you can see the important dates to remember. So again, depending on the class and semester that you're in, it'll say when the class meets, the last day to drop, and with last day to drop without a graded W. Again, the midterm critique, you'll have a group discussion post in which you'll need to post the current images of your artwork, hopefully in a finished state or somewhat completed state, and then your replies or feedback for the other students, and the deadline will be posted there. And again, these dates will be different depending on your semester. Same thing applies for the final critique discussion board. You'll have your initial post of your artworks in a complete and finished state for paintings 1 through 5. And then a couple days later, or it may be that same evening, depending on the class that you're in, your replies will be due then as well. So you want to make sure that you take a look at those so you know those deadlines. That's also listed in your course syllabus. And then down below, I've got another instructor information so you can see my office hours, how to reach me on campus. I generally prefer Canvas messaging, in which you can click on the inbox and message me directly that way, or you can send me an email with the link that's here. Depending on the presence of COVID-19, if all my virtual or if my office hours all switch to virtual, you'll be able to reach me here through the MS Teams link for this course. So I've created this little link here. You can click on that. It takes you right through Microsoft Teams, and I'll always be available through that learning management system. So if you need to get a hold of me, I'll be right there. In particular, for this course, for this semester, I've got virtual office hours on specific times and days, so you want to make sure to take a note of that. I do always say make an appointment prior to stopping by, as I might be in a faculty meeting, a different committee meeting, or I might be meeting with another student. So always try to schedule those appointments first. No textbook is required. There's also course materials that are available for this class, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. There's also a discussion board labeled class questions. It doesn't replace the questions that should be addressed to me, whether it's through the inbox or email, but it's if you have any questions for the rest of the class. Then down below is the course summary page in the content block, which I think is probably the most important. This one actually shows the deadlines of each assignment, when they're due, and the time. Again, it may change depending on the semester that you're in. So when you're in the Canvas shell, you want to take a look and see what those assignments are and when they're due. And you'll see, like, once a couple of weeks pass by, those sections will be sort of grayed out. And that way it kind of helps you know, okay, where am I? What's due this week? Okay, I've got these items to do. So that's what I got to remember. You can also use the calendar in the top right corner, click on those, and it'll pop into the day and tell you what's due. Generally, I have all my assignments, depending on the semester, due on a particular day and set time. Then you can see the grading, how it's all weighted in there, which you can also find in the modules page. So let's move on into that. On the modules page, the first thing you'll see is learner support, and that's if you're not familiar with BIPSI, there's that information there. And one of the handy things about the modules page is that you can cascade these little module content blocks. So when we're, later on into different weeks, you can just cascade them like that. Let's go back to the top. So you may have noticed in this section, course information begin here first, that there's these first three items with the circles right here. And that means that you are required to view those items. And those are items, it says complete all items. So we're going to pretend like we've already gone back and looked at that first page. I'll reload this. Just for me. There we go. So once you've viewed that page, you'll see a nice little green check mark and it says it's completed. And we notice up here, there's a nice little symbol. It says that we started, but we haven't completed. So we'll have to view these other two items in order for this check mark to show up, because all future weekly modules, they are locked out. So it all has a prerequisite of this first section here of these three items. If you don't do these, they're going to stay grayed out. And I can't tell you how many times I got an email from a student that didn't pay attention or didn't watch the entire orientation video, and they forgot to do this one or this one. So you want to make sure to do that. Once you've done those three items, again, depending on the semester or the course, it may be a different item, but generally you'll see that required to view. So click on those and that'll open them all up. So we're going to pretend like we already did that one. And you can read these at your leisure, like how to turn on the notifications, which I already talked about briefly. And then those three green check marks are there. We'll see that all items have been completed, and now all future weekly modules have been unlocked. So that's when you can progress into the week one module, start checking those things out. For this particular course and semester, it is a hybrid course, which means that we meet face-to-face during a particular time and day, and then the other half of the course is held online. So there's a lot of online course content. So you're responsible in reading those materials and those handouts for the course. And when we do meet in person, it's going to be dedicated studio time. So you'll get your supplies ready, get everything set up, and that's when you'll be working away. And I'll be supervising you individually, going around and making sure that you're up to speed in the course. Within that course information section, you'll see a page about the instructor. So it's a little blurb about me, a page about the course materials and supplies. I also have a video available for that. Depending, again, on the semester and our budget, sometimes I have enough left over to which I can buy some supplies, in which you can pick those up during our first class session. Or if you're unavailable for that, you can pick them up during my office hours. But again, schedule that time so I can have those materials ready for you. Again, sometimes it depends on what those materials are. If those are available, I will be making a course announcement, or I will have them available for you during our first class session. Again, if in the presence of COVID-19 and things do change, we'll set up a schedule or we'll try to figure something else out, but make sure to have your announcement notifications turned on. Down below, I've got that link again for the Microsoft Teams. There's the link to that class question discussion board. And then there's the course learning objectives as listed in the master syllabus. Going back into the Start Here page, it gives you a little bit more specific items paired for the course, but you can also find the majority of this information in the course syllabus. So I advise, going back into the modules, we can look at week one. This is going to follow the same format generally for each week. You always have an overview. Then there's a section labeled PowerPoints, video lectures, and handouts. It may not contain all of those, but it'll have some items for the week. So for this first week, I've got the course syllabus here, the master syllabus file, which again, you want to focus on the course syllabus. And then down below, I've always got the assignments listed, and those are the ones that you need to complete. So here we've got a syllabus quiz, and that goes back over the course syllabus file, so you want to make sure to look over that. Self-introduction post, which I'll get into in just a second, and then some extra credit for the discussion board netiquette. If you're not familiar with that, being in a hybrid or online class, I definitely suggest check that out. And again, it's free points. So I'm going to lead right into this with the self-introductions. This is a discussion board, and the first thing that you want to do is click on this little button here. It says subscribe. That way you'll be notified if anybody makes a post or reply to yours. So if you've already read the about the instructor page, you can now introduce yourself to the rest of the class. And so I've given you some suggestions here for your post. You can read that at your leisure later on. But how to make a reply or a post, a lot of students get confused on this. You see the little reply box down here. Once you click in this, this dialog box pops up, and you can type in, whatever you want. You hit post reply, and then it'll be down underneath. When there's a lot of students in the class and you're trying to weed through the ones that you've read and haven't read yet, if you click on the unread button, it'll show the unread post down below. And like for this one, there's nobody that's posted yet, so it's not listed. If you actually click on the discussion board link, you'll see all the class discussions, but notice the one we were just in, the self-introductions, it's got this green little bookmark, and that means that we've actually subscribed. So one of the things I tell students is going ahead and doing that on the first day or whenever you get registered for the class, logging in once you've seen this video, and go ahead and subscribe to those, and you'll get notifications whenever there's been a post, reply, or any of those important items there. Going back into the modules page, go back to that first week. You'll see the week overview page, and then when we click on that, it's going to tell us what we need to do for the week. So it's just a nice little summary what needs to be done, and it'll tell you looking ahead. But generally, the things you see, like they'll say read, review, or complete. So those are the things that you want to focus on there. And if we go back into the modules for week one, we'll see some weeks have these and some don't, because there's sometimes that I don't have any assignments for you in the week. I just want you guys to work on painting. But you'll see the lecture notes page, links for various readings, and that's the required reading for the week. So these links, they're just more condensed on one page for you, and the videos of what we saw. So it's the exact same thing that we saw in the week one section there. So the core syllabus, master syllabus, and the 3 assignments, that's within that lecture notes page. So that's just a condensed version. Some students like that better than seeing the list down here. So I try to make it as easy as possible. Then the upcoming week, again, kind of follows the same format. You've got a week 2 overview page. That's what we see here. And then go back down to it. You've got video lectures. So for this course, I have a lot of my lectures from my fully online painting class that I've taught before. My video lectures are there, so it's your responsibility to watch those prior to our class sessions. Then for your first couple of projects, I've actually got the lectures there. And so I'm doing like a PowerPoint presentation over the handout, and then instructions on how to complete those. So you want to make sure that you're not spending time in class trying to figure this out. You want to do this prior to class. So make sure you're watching these items. And then I've also got the video lecture for the second project. The vocabulary review quiz terms, you can click on those each week, or for the first 10 weeks, you'll have a vocabulary quiz. And then you'll see these supplementary items. I suggest that you read these and watch them because they're definitely beneficial. I wouldn't just put them in there for fluff. I want you guys to focus on these as they will help you become a better painter. And then down below, you see the assignments. And generally, that's where I'll also put in that handout that's down there before. So there's the project 1 for your color theory notebook, and then project 2 that's there. And then this one, I want to just discuss this right now. If paints are not available and you got to pick up your own, you need to do this assignment first prior to doing project number 2, because you're going to be labeling your paint tubes with warms and cools. And if you don't do this right, your color theory notebook and a lot of points will be lost, and if, you could fail the course. But again, each week you got the overview page, you've got video lectures, you've got my handouts, the handouts for the assignments or for those projects. And then, like I said, there's video lectures that you want to watch, supplemental information. And again, it just kind of follows that same pattern throughout each one. So take some time, take a look through those modules. If you feel overwhelmed, just take a deep breath and then just start back into the week and figure out what you're doing there. If we click on grades, it's going to take us to the grade section. Mine's going to look a little different because I am in student view, but generally you'll see your score and you'll be able to click on this to see any feedback or your actual individual scores that you'll see there. So anything that'll have like your color theory notebook, once you see your score there, you can click on that score, see that feedback made by me and what you need to do maybe for like one of the painting lessons to get caught up or improvements. Let's go back into the modules. So one last thing, the course materials and supplies, I do talk about this in a separate video, but you can take a look here at these materials. And again, I will be making a notification if those items, some items will be available to be picked up during our first class session. And so all of those are listed there. If you have any questions on the materials and things, you can have those questions for our first class session, or you can email me in advance. That's totally fine. But I will be covering those materials in that video too. So if you want to check out that video immediately after this one, that's fine. If the videos are ever too long for you, maybe this one too, there's always down at the bottom, you can click and change the speed if you prefer that, or you can just take a break and resume in those sections. Overall, if you have any questions, please remember to message me through the inbox in Canvas or send me an email here. Other than that, welcome to the course and good luck.